Hi guys, welcome to DevOps School. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about Ansible network modules. Ansible network modules can configure your network state, test and validate existing network state, and discover and correct network configuration drift. After going through this tutorial, I promise you that the concept and understanding of Ansible will be absolutely clear to you. This series divided into multiple parts, therefore subscribe to the channel and follow the playlist.
But before that, let me ask you a few things. Are you dreaming of a career with higher pay and more responsibilities? Or are you ready to take your skills to the next level this year? Then start investing in DevOps School certification level courses which will help you to emerge skills for a wide range of entry-level roles and as well as higher potential future positions. But with thousands of courses online and in classroom worldwide, finding the right one for your career goals can be difficult. You can consider our courses like Agile Developer, Agile QA, DevOps Certified Professionals, Site Reliability Engineering, DevSecOps, and Masters in DevOps Engineering, where you will have access to well-structured, easy-to-follow course content that has been developed and will be delivered by industry professionals. You can join on our training programs globally through online platforms, and if you are looking for classroom workshops, then we have regular sessions available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and in Pune. Simply compare our many courses, find the one that suits your style and schedule best, and start today.
Yeah. So first question is, what is Ansible? And we call it Ansible is a configuration management tool. But the question is, what is a configuration management here? What is configuration management? So because configuration management is a very broad word, correct? Very broad word. So if you think Ansible is a configuration management, but for what? For what? It's AC configuration, building configuration, computer configuration, application configuration, database configuration. What exactly? So basically, Ansible is a configuration management tool for servers. Yes. So it can manage the configuration for multiple servers parallelly, multiple servers. Now, so here, when we say Ansible is a configuration management tool, what is a configuration management? So configuration management of servers. But what is there in the server? What is there in the server? I said server because whatever you find in the one server, you will find in all the servers. So what do you have? So typically you will find file, directory, packages, shell, yum, apt, what else? File, directory, packages, services, users, group. So these are the things you will find it. I mean, so many other things also. Okay, these are the so many other things also you find. So what is there in the server? So these are the things you have in the server. So basically, we call it resources. We call it server resources. Okay, so basically here what I'm trying to say, using Ansible, you can manage a server's resources config. Understand that? Resources config. Okay, using Ansible, you can manage a server resources config. Okay, for multiple server at a time, multiple servers at a time. So we call it Ansible is config management tool. Did you understand this?
Yes.
Okay. So now we call it, many people call it deployment tool also. Actually, you can do deployment also, configuration also, whatever you like, deployment tool also. So many people say like that. Okay. So now next question is, what is there in the what is the configuration it can be modified? What configuration? File configuration, directory configuration, package configuration, shell configuration, yum configuration. So all these things we will discuss in a little bit later, whatever. Okay. So right now, let's focus on the initial points. So that's we have discussed. Now next question, next thing is Ansible is written in Python. Yes. Ansible is written in Python. Ansible is written in Python. And it is from the company which is called Red Hat. They have a few releases. One is like Ansible. One is Ansible Tower. There's Ansible AWX also. AWX. So what is the difference between all these releases? Okay. So Ansible is a command line tool, which I'm teaching you today. This is free also. And this is the open source also. I mean, I would not say open source. Everything you cannot see it. That's a problem. Yeah. So CMD free. And it's a free. Ansible Tower has a command line capability plus GUI capability. Okay, graphical user dashboarding, reporting, and many things are there. And here, this is free until 10 nodes. If it is become 11th node, then you have to pay for it. Now here, AWX is also CMD plus GUI and free forever. So why this is free forever? So this is not for production, not for production use. Production use. This is most recent release of Ansible Tower. Most recent code, I would not say release actually. Most recent code of Ansible Tower, which is not tested, which has not been tested. Did you understand that? What is the AWX? Guys, did you understand that?
Yes.
So AWX is okay, it's free, but it's not been tested for the production. No support has been given. Okay, so it's like this. So this is the Ansible config management tool, deployment tool, written Python from Red Hat. Release, you have a different releases and all. Okay, extend Ansible feature, using plugins. Yeah, that's the plugins. Okay, using plugins. Understand that. There is some keywords I will ask you. There's a difference here. Keyword. Huge difference between the plugins, modules. Okay, so don't both are not same here. Plugins, modules, both are not same here. So plugins and modules are not a same thing. Here you can extend the functionality of the Ansible using plugins, but what is a module? A little bit later I'll talk about it. So guys, this is the Ansible, and we use for the configuration management of these resources in the servers, multiple servers, and more. Okay. So did you understand that? Can we go ahead?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah. Now next question is why Ansible? That's a simple question. Why Ansible? If someone will ask you why you want to use Ansible, because configuration of the resources in the multiple servers you can do through any programming language. Why Ansible? So yes, true that you can do any programming languages, but let's use that Java, C++, Python, Perl. These are the languages, right? So these languages also can do that, but not easy to learn, write, extend, test, debug, and share. Okay, you can do that. Whatever you are doing through the Ansible, of course, you can do through this programming language, but it's not easy to learn. If you want deployment configuration management of the servers, Ansible you can do in a 1 day time. In Java, it will take 2 months to 3 months. For Python, it will take 15 days. So like that. So that's the reason why we are using Ansible. Why? Because Ansible is easy to learn. Ansible is easy to learn, write, extend, test, debug, and share. Simple. When I say sharing, that means, let's say I'm sharing a code with you. So you also can learn Ansible within a few hours. But if I share the Java code with you, then you have to spend again 15, 20, 100, 10, 1 month to understand the Java code. Debugging is very difficult. You want to test some modules which you have coded. You want to test, it's very difficult. You know that it takes time. Extending is very difficult. Writing is very difficult. So it's like not easy to that. It's not impossible, but it's not easy. Same time, then you will say, okay, fine, I understand what you are talking about. But shell script is easy, and PowerShell script is easy to learn, extend, write, test, debug, and share, right? Power, PS, and shell, Linux shell script are easy to learn because you've been using from since many years. Linux you are using from last so many years. Windows you are using since so many years. So it's easy to learn. Share, debug. But actually, it's not cross-platform. It's not cross-platform. See here, that shell scripting, if you write, it will not work on the Windows. If you write PowerShell script, it will not work on the Linux. One script, in fact, which is PowerShell, one shell script, will not work on all the variant of Linux. You know that there's so many variant, there's so many flavor of Linux are there, right? So this will not work in those flavors of Linux. Okay, are you getting my points? What I'm trying to say? Yeah, yeah. So here, this is the stuff. Now, so here, Ansible is cross-platform. So you must be wondering one thing. You must be wondering. See, I am telling you, Ansible is written in Python. That's okay. And again, same thing I'm saying. Ansible is easy to learn, write, extend, text, debug, and share compared to the Python itself. How come? See, guys, this is an evolution. It's an evolution. Let's understand that. Okay, evolution. Earlier, and again, this is a I'm not sharing everything. Just in a short span of time, whatever uh, knowledge which I have, I am sharing with you. So it's not 100% correct. This is my understanding. Okay, earlier it's all about the evolution of what? Of programming language. Okay, programming language. I believe earlier we had a one of the programming language which is like a compiled language. Compiled language. If you use the compiled language for developing any software, then you used to take, let's say, 1 year. Like, which are the compiled language? So Java, .NET, C, C++, you know that, right? Correct now? C++. Now, after that, because it takes huge amount of time and effort to develop any software, then we got interpreted language. Interpreted language. Now, interpreted language has speed up our work, basically. Interpreted language like Perl, Python, PHP. These are the interpreted language. So here, using this, if you develop a software, it will take lesser time. Let's say 6 months. Okay. Then see, this we were not having internet. During the interpreted language evolution time, we got the internet. When we got internet, see earlier, think about the Windows, Microsoft Windows. Okay, you want to develop a font functionality. So Microsoft team has to write each and every code, each and every line of the code to do that, right? But nowadays we don't do that, so because we got the internet, and with the internet we got an attitude of sharing our code. So why to reinvent the cycle again and again? Let's do one thing. This code has been written by someone else. It's been tested thoroughly also. Let's reuse that code. Let's reuse it. Let's not reinvent the wheel again. Not do that. I mean, so here then we got the era of declarative language. Declarative language, DSL language, DSL, domain specific language, declarative language. Okay. Now, declarative language with domain specific language. See here, you must be thinking about why we are learning so much. So actually, the things got easier for you. Actually, see here, we got a declarative language. So with a domain specific language, that means what is that? So here the software development is just become a 1 month of task. Now what is a declarative language? Here you have a YAML, JSON, XML. We used to use it. These are the declarative language. That means what is happening? You declare in these one. Okay, very simple way you declare. Within a few minutes you can declare, and after that you send to the domain specific language. Domain specific language will do that task. That means domain specific language has all the functionality already available. They will do that task. You don't have to do that. So you have to just declare what you want. For example, there is a one approach. I want to have a lunch. So there is one approach. I will order the lunch. See, order the lunch. And there's one more approach. I will cook a lunch. So you tell me which approach is less time consuming, right? You will order, you get it, you eat it, right? You don't have to wait for it, right? I mean, and you have to cook for that. You have to clean the pots, you have to cut the vegetables, you have to prepare that stuff. So it's like this. So now domain specific language is having all the functionality already for particular domain. For example, here we are talking management, server management, here server management. So basically it's Ansible has all the code already, required code for the server management. Just you need to declare it in YAML JSON, and it will be done by that tool. Domain specific language tool will be done. So are you getting my points here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that is where we are claiming, okay, every problem, whatever you have a problem, it can be solved within a days. Why? Because you don't do any coding anymore. Declare it. You just tell, I need a 4 chapati, 1 sabji. It's instead of you go and prepare. You declare 4 chapati and 1 sabji, you get it immediately here, because these will do that for you. These domain specific languages will do that for you. How? That's an interesting topic. That code has been written, so they can do it for you. So it's like this. Okay, so that is how. So now we were discussing about why Ansible. So yep, Ansible is easy to learn. Here Ansible is cross platform. Okay, and Ansible is Ideo Important. Now what is Ideo Important? So Ideo Important is a feature here. So lots of complicated pictures are there. Let me explain it. So Ideo Important, see, I'll put it in this way. There is a 10 steps in the one deployments. Okay, understand that 10 steps in one deployment, and each steps is taking 1 minute. Each steps is taking 1 minute. So that way, all of this total minute is 10 minutes. That means your deployment time in one server is become 10 minutes. Correct now? This is a first deployment. This is a first deployment. Now, if you do the second deployment using shell scripting, then also it will take 10 minutes. But if you do the second deployment through, and see here in the, this is the deployment, and second deployment only 2 changes are there. 2 changes, correct? Two step changes is there. So here second deployment you are doing all the 10 steps, each steps is 1, but it's taking only 10 minutes. That means same time. But here, if you have a tools which has Ideo Important functionality, so they will check, are we done with this deployment or not? So second deployment, if you do through Ansible, and if there is a 2 steps only changed, only 2 steps, here it got changed the 2 steps only, but out of 10 steps, here 2 steps only, and for each steps here, so basically here 10 steps will execute, and here only 2 steps will execute. So this feature is called Ideo Important. So what is happening when you deploy those steps in the remote server, Ansible will check, is that really needed to rerun? Do we have a change in the desire? So I want to change that in the server, or it's already up to date. So Ansible will check it's already up to date. So they will skip that steps. So like this, if 8 steps has been done, so here only 2 steps change will happen. So this kind of functionality, which is called it Ideo Important. In a simple way, if I put it up, the tool will check the actual in the server desire in your declarative language, that means file, and match this. If it is already there in place, no need to modify. Are you understanding this? Ideo Important. Guys?
Yes.
Okay. So by the way, this feature nowadays is coming in every tool. Every tools like a Terraform also it is there, Puppet also, Chef also, CloudFormation also. So many tools are coming with the inbuilt this feature. So this is the stuff. Now many other advantages are like there for Ansible, like saving cost, benefit in learning, and many things are there. So right now I'm skipping those stuff. So here we discuss.
What is this Ansible Playbook?
I'm coming back on that. Okay, so here, yeah, so we discuss about what is Ansible, then discuss about why Ansible, then I am going to tell you, are we having any other tools for the similar problem? So guys, so many tools are there. If I compare this one, no, Ansible, then I should compare Ansible is a market leader, of course. Second one is a Puppet. Third one is Chef. Fourth one is CF Engine. Okay, Salt also is there. Okay, these are, but here it required coding. Coding actually here is required. Now, if you want no coding, only UI, then you can use udeploy plus udeploy plus octopus deploy. Now let me tell you here is one thing. Octopus deploy and is a UI tool, but we think coding is not required. Actually, it's not true. Little bit of coding everywhere is needed nowadays. Without that, how can you integrate? How can you do automations and all? It's not possible, right? Coding is the only one way to have a automation in place. We just tell say UI tool, but required some effort to automate it. So these are the tools which is popular in this category. There are few more tools are there, but I think it's just a waste of time about discussing about this. So with that, why Ansible, other tools? Now we are discussing about the architecture of Ansible. That means how Ansible works. That is important. Or here you say Ansible architecture. Okay, so here we need to understand the Ansible architecture. So here in Ansible, here we have, of course, here we have human, right? Human is working on the one server which is called ACS. ACS. What is the full form of ACS? Ansible Control Server, the controlling server. It's a server itself, but control server. Okay. And in the server management, everything is a server basically. Understand this. And then Ansible server do deploy the things in the multiple remote server. Multiple remote server. So 1, 2, 3. So this is called ARS, Ansible remote server. So I give the instruction, we give the instruction to ACS. ACS give the instruction to ARS. Okay. Now this can be Windows, any flavor. This can be Linux, any flavor. Did you understand this? Did you understand this?
Yeah.
Okay. So now here we have a ACS, ARS. So now let's discuss ACS, ARS. Here Ansible control server, Ansible remote server. This is the two things. Ansible control server, Ansible remote server. In Ansible control server, this has to be 64-bit. This has to be Linux only. Okay, Linux only. 64-bit, which has to be there. Okay. Now, this can be ARS can be Windows and Linux both. Windows and Linux. This can be any bit. Okay. Now, Ansible control server need to have Python 2.x installed. Python 2.7.x installed. ARS, if it is a Linux, okay, if it is a Linux, SSH plus Python, okay. Here, this is needed. By the way, I'm just sharing the knowledge just to know you and get comfortable. But it's basically all the Linux. It comes with the Linux 2. Python 2.7 and SSH enabled by default. By the way, okay. So understand that. Okay. So if it is a Linux ARS, then you need a same thing. And if it is a Windows, then you need WinRM plus PowerShell 3.0 plus PowerShell 3.0 and .NET also 4.x. These are the things. Okay. So if it is in terms of dependency, you have like this. Okay. Now ACS, if I say ACS, when it communicate to ARS, okay, it communicate to ARS protocol. So how it connect to the ARS protocol? So basically, if it is a Windows, then it is the HTTP protocol. Understand that? Okay. If it is a Windows, if it uses HTTP protocol, and if it is a Linux, then use SSH protocol. Okay. SSH protocol. Now there are few more protocols are available, but that's out of the scope because it will be too much of customization in that case. Ansible is very wide. It's supporting many things actually. Okay. So you know that here most of the Linux will be having this one, and most of the Windows will be having this one, and most of the Linux having this one. So because of this reason, we call it Ansible is agentless. Agentless. But Ansible has agent 2. Ansible has agent 2. Okay, understand that. Because of this nature only, we call it agentless. But there is an agent also available which can be used for ARS, ACS, ARS communications and stuff like that. Okay, guys, are you getting my points? Now, how this ACS authenticates? Okay, ACS authenticates. So that's a little bit. Let me discuss little bit later. Okay, so here overall, yes, you have a ACS, Ansible Control Server. You have a ARS, Ansible Remote Server, and we send the instruction to ACS. ACS send the instruction to ARS, different machines. This is a WinRM protocol connection. This is SSH connection. Some of the things which is default need to be there, which is there in the default already. And this is the architecture. This is how it works. So, did you understand this, guys? Any questions? Any questions?
No, Rajesh.
Okay, good. Now, next thing is component of ACS. Components of ACS. What is the component of ACS? So in ACS, typically we get Ansible installed. So Ansible is a tool which you have to install it. Then this, you have a playbook. Okay. Now what is a playbook? I'll tell you. And then you have an inventory. So here, playbook, inventory. When you install Ansible, you get many things. Ansible core, executables, you get a plugins, you get a modules, you get a config files as well. There's no database because I'm using the command line options. Okay, so these are the, when you install one tool, when you install Ansible, you get executables. I said executables as multiple plugins, modules, and config file. Now here, playbook is a code written in YAML by us. Inventory could be a file, could be a file created by us containing list of ARS servers. Okay, so these are the component of ACS. Okay, these are the component of ACS. Okay, now here core executable, you understand what is a plugin. So plugin, you can extend feature of, understand that, feature of Ansible, whereas module is a piece of code, is a piece of code which you run in ARS with the help with few parameters. Config file is a file using you can change Ansible behavior, configurations and stuff like that. So guys, did you understand this? Did you understand this?
Yes.
Okay, so here this is important. Okay, modules is a piece of code which you run in ARS with a few parameters. Understand that these modules run in ARS. Basically this is a doer, this is for the Ansible alone. In config file, if you want to change the behavior of this guy executable, then you have to modify the configuration file, because any behavior, there's a one behavior set default here, but you can modify multiple behavior here. And then playbook written by us. Inventory could be a file created by us containing list of ARS servers. I said could be because it's a long definition, confusing with the too many details at a time, but I will add those stuff slowly. Okay, the component at the high level, okay, of ACS. Now this is by us, this is by us. This means the code you have to write in YAML to perform in ARS, and where you want to, which ARS server. So list of ARS server IP address, I would say IP addresses. Okay, so can we move on if you're okay?
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay, so now next thing is roles in Ansible. Your roles, yeah, your roles in Ansible. Okay, your roles in Ansible. So there is a two role actually, and you have to perform both the role. Okay, there's one role which states you have to write a code, means Ansible developer, and there's a one role which is there, we have to write Ansible operations. So here Ansible developer, write a code in Playbooks, write a plugin, write a module, this code in Playbook, this is YAML. Okay, write a module in Python, write a plugin again in this in Python. But we are not doing anything else like developing a module, developing a plugins using Python. We are doing this, is important. Focus on this. Okay, so Ansible developers will write a playbook, which is nothing but a YAML, and this is the topic for our today and tomorrow. Okay, so here developer will do this. Ansible operations will do what? Manage entire environment, assets, host assets, okay, host assets, credentials, apply playbook to ARS, which you have written a playbook here. You have to give it to the operations. They'll apply into ARS environment and stuff like that, entire environment. Okay, so here that is the job. So if you think, okay, what I'm supposed to do, so you have to find out yourself. Typically, we prefer both the roles you should do together. That's a called DevOps. Okay, not only you write a code for the configuration management in the server, like our pre-production server, QA server, production server, but also you apply yourself only. You manage yourself only. Everything you just do it yourself only. So that is what exactly we are talking about. Okay, so guys, did you understand your roles and responsibilities?
Yeah, right.
Okay, now next
Yes.
question is how to become a developer. How to become a Ansible developer. So before answering these questions, let's understand that how to become a Java developer or Python developer or anything developer. So can you tell me how to become a Java developer in short? If you want to become a Java developer, let's say there's one student, okay, who has just passed out his schooling, and you are suggesting him he wants to become a Java developer. So what you would suggest as a step 1, step 2, step 3 like this? So what you would suggest him, or maybe you have done it also. I have done it also. So how to become a Java developer? Guys, how to become Java developer?
Learn coding.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll put it up in the steps. Actually, steps is very good. I feel very comfortable with this approach. So first thing, install JDK. JDK is a Java development kit. Correct now? So install the JDK, Java development kit. Though in my college time, I think I spent five months to install the JDK only. five five and a half months. Okay, so that is a thing. Okay, then we write a .java. Correct now? Then we write .java. In that job Java, what we write, that is the interesting thing. So here we write a variables. Then we write operators. Then we write a conditioning. Then we write a iterators, looping and all you say, right? Looping. Then programs become unmanageable. It become larger, then convert into the modules, a method, functions. Then again, multiple method classes. And then all this thing, interfaces and all. I'll not deep dive into that. So this is something we do that, right? We learn variables, operators, conditioning, looping, method, class, this, that, and all. And once we complete the Java program, then we convert that into the class, .class. Okay, .class. So .class is the program which we have, right? Now, once we get a multiple class, then we convert into the jar file, don't you? And when you can get a multiple jar file, then we convert into the war file. So jar file and war file, if you look at this, is just a management way to manage your large set of programs. Don't you think so? Are you comfortable with this process?
Yes.
And then war files, we give it to the QA team saying that, okay, boss, test this software functionality. So he will just copy it in the web server and deploy it and follow the instructions to install it, configure this, that, and all, and then use that to test the software. So this is how to become a Java developer. Correct, na, guys? So now how to become Ansible developer? So yes, first thing you have to install Ansible. Okay, first thing you have to install Ansible. Yes, that's called Ansible DK, whatever you want to call it, Ansible. Ansible, when I say Ansible, understand that, guys, it's not one executable. Okay, understand that. It says executables. I'll put it as separate. Executables. When you install Ansible, actually multiple executable you get it. So here we Ansible. Now Ansible don't understand Java or don't understand .py Python. Here I said, right, Ansible is written using Python, so that does not mean it will understand the py. No, Ansible understand .yaml. This is your program. Okay, this is your program, and then in this program you have to learn all these tactics. This is the program, you have to learn all these tactics. What tactics? So here, variables, operators, method, uh, conditioning. I'm writing in short. Okay, loop. Okay, all this thing you have to write it here in YAML file. Yes, YAML also you can declare a variable, operators, method, functions, and multiple things. Here modules. Okay, modules, the one same modules which I said and I talked about it here, which also I did talked about it here, which you can find in the Ansible ACS server. Okay, so here module, what is doing? A piece of code which you run in the ACS. ARS, sorry, with a few parameters. So here you write a modules in YAML, so it run in the ACS, ARS, sorry. So after that you get a multiple, if you get a multiple YAML, complicated stuff like that, you convert, and this is your playbook, by the way, this is your playbook. Okay, so if you got a multiple playbook, multiple variables, this, that, and all, and the program become unmanageable, then you convert into the roles, and this role you give it to operations, and he will run this role, playbook role. Okay, to ARS, playbook or role to ARS. Did you understand this, guys? Guys, did you understand that?
Mm, Actually, we are not comfortable with this YAML language.
No problem, I will teach you a little bit of it.
Okay.
Okay, so guys, okay, are you okay for so far now?
Yeah, Rajesh.
Okay, so now this is the thing. So I think overall the discussion which I wanted to make it, I did it. What is Ansible? So here, what is Ansible? We have understood well. Then we discuss why we are using Ansible. Things I have given it to you. Again, so many reasoning can be. Then we understand the evolution, how the YAML is playing a very significant role in the today's world of software development. Ansible is competing with these tools actually. How Ansible works, so I discuss about this ACS concept and ARS concept, and these are the details which I gave it to you. Then here component of ACS, which I have it here. Then play components means Ansible, Playbook, Inventory. Then rules also we discuss. Then how to become Ansible developer, so we discuss. So you install Ansible first, then write a playbook. In the playbook you have a this, and apply that to test this software playbook. If you keep getting a multiple playbooks and your program get complicated, convert in the rules. This is the last objective. So today we'll spend time on playbook, tomorrow we'll spend time with rules. Okay guys, so any questions, any doubts if you have?
Rajesh, what is the importance of roles?
Simple. I have, see here, if you understand jar or var, let's understand var. What is var? So if you have too many of classes, then you have converted into jar. If you have too many of jar, you convert it into the var. Plus var has the HTML, CSS also, right? So it's like that. So when you have too many playbook variables, this, that, modules, too many things, then you convert into the roles. Roles to manage the complexity of the programs, large program. Now, I'm just telling you at the function, at a functional level. What exactly the roles are, I'll tell you when I'll teach you when I get into the topic. Because if I tell you right away all this which we use in the Ansible, so I think you might lose interest or might lose the track. So that's the reason I'm not complicating to begin with. So at a high level picture, did you understand? Roles is to manage the playbook. That's all. A large amount of code which is written for Ansible. Are you getting my points? Hello.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. More questions, guys? Okay, good. So now I'm going to install the Ansible. The question is how to install Ansible. That is the thing. Install Ansible. Basically, Ansible, when I say ACS server, okay, set up ACS server, whatever it is. Okay, so this is the stuff. So from here onwards, demo will be there only. So let's get started. So now, important thing is, in Docker, I was not having a limitation. I mean, I was not having ways to keep a track of each one of you. I mean, it's not basically tracking, but I want the Ansible to be a kind of session which should be 100% participant should be there. Because in the previous lab also I'm seeing very less participant, but I was not having control also. I cannot do much of the things without asking. But here what I have decided, because this is architecture. So here we all need to be there on ACS. So there will be one ACS. Okay, we will have one ACS, correct? And then after that, ARS can be separate one. So all can be here, and I can see everything here. And in ACS, what do you have? Everything. In ACS, we have these are the components. So that way I can have a track of it. So yep. So today I will give you one machine each one of you, but tomorrow I'll have a one ACS, and again I'll give you each one of you one machine, but we will work here only. So that way we know that what code we have written so far. So let's be serious. So how to install Ansible? So I'm doing that Ansible installations, and demo I'll show you, then followed by lab we will do that. So I'm doing it. So I think as per your suggestion, I'll use CentOS only. One CPU, 2 GB RAM is sufficient for this. This is ACS Rajesh. Review launch. Okay, so my machine is ready now. Here, this is the IP address ACS Okay, now where do we get the installation instructions? So again, official website, again you have a very rich information, but I keep my note of it also. Install Ansible. And here it is, how to install CentOS. Here is the URL. Okay guys, one more thing here. Skip the update part. Update will kill 4-5 minutes unnecessarily, so just don't do that. Okay, so but sometimes people have very old machines, so we have added the code. So these are the code. Update, remove it. Okay, don't do that because this unnecessarily uh, lose you the time. So here, if I look at this, okay, so CentOS is username, password is key, I have given it already, and setting color here, appearance, let's make it a little bit larger, 14. Okay, so now here you have the machines. Now I'll become a root as per my habit. I have a problem with the sudo, remembering the command all the time. So installing this wget, then downloading this RPM, installing that RPM, and then installing the Ansible. Okay, this is not needed, firewall stop and disable, because I have done it in AWS, so I think that I'll remove it also. But if you are trying in the VM and all, you have to do that, so that is important. Okay guys, so now I got the install, Ansible got installed, you see here. Now I want to know version of it. So which version you have? Hyphen version. See here, this is the version. Now here, see here, configuration file. I recall that discussion here. Ansible, the moment you install Ansible, you get a 4 things. Okay, so first one is executable. So can we check that executable? So which Ansible? See, it's there in the bin Ansible. Now can I ls bin Ansible star? See here, you got Ansible also, config also, connection also, console also, doc also, Galaxy also, inventory also, playbook also, and vault also, test also, pull also. So many things you got it, right? So many executables you got it, right? Now plugins. Where is the plugins? So plugins will be located at a system location. Let me copy the path from here. You go to here. It is. See here. Not this. This is the user location. Here. This is the system location. Go to this place. Here you get a plugins. All the plugins. Using these plugins, you can extend the functionality of the Ansible. That means if this plugin is been installed, that means already extended. But if you want to download the more plugins, you can put it in this. Then one is modules. Modules, understand that what is a modules? Modules is a piece of code which you run in the ARS with a few parameters, not in ACS. Remember, you run in ARS for your work. I'll come back to the modules in detail, but here modules are here. Okay, okay. Some of the things. Now config file, which a location which you can find yourself here. This is the config file. Look at this here. More. See, this is the config file. Everything is commented out. Why? Because the default is set in Ansible executable itself. You want to change the default behavior, you have to uncomment it. So that's so many variables are there. So that's one thing. Okay, so this is the Ansible. Now these are the commands which I did after installing the Ansible. Okay, any questions so far, guys? Any questions so far?
Alright.
Oh,
Okay, so now see here, this is done. This is done. Now we have to write a playbook. So if you want to write a code, before that, what is your requirement, right? What is your requirement? That's the important thing, right? What is your requirement? What is your requirement? Correct? What is your requirement? Because you started coding without a requirement, this is not good. So I got a requirement saying that set up a web server. Set up a web server. Something like write a Ansible code. Write Ansible code for setting up a web server in CentOS. Now web server means HTTPD. It can be Nginx also, but Apache. I'm using Apache. Okay, this is my requirement. So guys, whenever you get requirement, okay, no matter whether you are using Java, C++, Perl, Python, or Ansible, wherever you get a requirement, convert into the pseudocode. Okay, pseudocode. Because if you don't convert, then you will get lost. You will get lost. What should I do? What should I not do? Where should I start? Where should I not start? It's like a confusion. So convert into pseudocode. That is important. Okay, pseudocode. So here you have to convert into the step by step. See, this is this kind of pseudocode, or write the. See, this is the kind of pseudocode. Okay, so convert into pseudocode. You might have studied in system analysis and design. So I'll put it in the step. So if I want to start a Ansible as web server, so first thing, step number 1, install HTTPD package in CentOS. That's the first thing. Step 2, I have to do what I have to do. Here, copy package. Package where? Package means index.html is my package right now. Into their location, which is called location, is like you should know location also. Means you should know before automating, you should know all the tools. It's not like you jump to the Ansible and you don't know anything about the Apache, you don't know anything about your software, you don't know anything about your database, you don't know anything about your app server. No, Ansible will not help you. First, learn your product. First, do your product configuration manually. Set up each steps, you do that manually. Then think about automation and then Ansible. Okay, so copy this one. Inside that, step number 3, start a HTTPD server. That's all. So this is a very simple project, and I got the pseudocode also. Okay, so this is also work completed. Now I have to start coding. But there is a problem. There's a problem. Let's say I'll ask you one simple question. If you want to just create one directory, okay, command versus code. This is the fight between command versus code. Programs, code or programs. Now let's say if you want to create a directory in one box, okay, one box. Your direct in your laptop. Then would you write a shell scripting or you will write a command for it? Tell me.
Command.
Yeah, why?
It is easy to use.
Easy to use, yes. So you only gave me the answer, correct? So if you want to do 1 or 2 activities, then we are not going to write a code. That means we are not going to write a playbook. That can be done by ad hoc programs itself. Okay, so one or two activity, ad hoc code, ad hoc command. More activity, more code, then programs. That is how we do that. One or two things, run the commands. More things, put it in shell script and then run the shell script. That is how we do that. Correct now? Are you okay with this? Guys?
Yes.
Are you okay? Yeah. So now can I run that? Can I learn before that? Can I learn those stuff ad hoc commands? Let me show you the flow. So flow. Okay. So I want your agreement on this flow. See here. Look at this. If you want to do one thing, see here, one task, but in one machine, then why to write a program for it? Let's do ad hoc command. Let's use the ad hoc commands. If you want to do one task, but in one remote machine, then still why do we need a playbook? Ad hoc command will serve that purpose. If you want to have a one task in multiple remote machine, understand that multiple remote machine means ARS, multiple ARS, then also ad hoc commands. But the moment it become multiple tasks, then playbook is coming. Then again one machine, one remote machine, multiple remote machine, and so on. But here roles. So when you get a multiple playbook, then a role, and then multiple role, and so on. So we'll start first ad hoc, which is very powerful. I must tell you here, very powerful. Then we'll start with playbook, and finally we'll get into the role. So this is the program we will enhance. That programs will evolve through ad hoc to playbook, playbook to role. Structure also evolve from the one machine local host to remote machine, one local machine to one remote machine to multiple remote machine, like that. Are you getting the evolution this side, both the side? Getting my points?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yes.
Okay, great. So now we will start with ad hoc command. So here, how can we write ad hoc command? But first, see, you're a developer. Write a code. Code can be command or programs, whatever. Okay. And test in local. And then think about L. Then think about remote. Simple logic, not very rocket science required to understand this. Okay, simple logic. So here I am creating ad hoc commands to this one. Okay, there it comes here. What is module? Ansible module. Now I'll get into the deep dive. What is Ansible module? Guys, I want to explain you in a simple way. What is a module? See, you want to copy some file. So which command you use?
CP.
Which command?
CP.
CP. Then what you do?
Permission we can give.
No, after the CP, after that?
Find
Source
Find
location and destination location.
And then destination location. Wonderful. So this is the command. I want to create a directory. Which command you use?
MKDIR.
MKDIR.
And after that,
Directory.
okay, great. I want to start the service. What command you try?
If it is center cell, systemctl start,
Systemctl. Start and then
service name. Service start.
service name. Okay, great. So I hope you understand this. All of you understand. Out of which you see here. What is this? Understand the pattern very carefully. This is your command. This is your parameter 1, parameter 2. Correct?
Yes.
This is your command. This is a parameter 1 only required. That's only one required, only one. Here it's required 2. Sometimes command required 3 also, 4 also, depends. Here, this is a command. And here you require parameter 1 and parameter 2. Out of which this parameter is basically action parameter. Here you have alternatives. Action means here it can be stop also. Are you getting my points? What I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Stop also, enable also, disable also. Understand that very simple logic to learn any technology. Okay, not anything is simple. So guys, this you understand very well. Okay, now I will tell you what is Ansible module. So actually I said, please read this on top. Here I said module is a piece of code which runs in ARS with a few parameters. Yes, that's correct. So what is modules? So module is again is a piece of code which runs in ARS. Remember, it runs in ARS, not here, not in ACS. Module is a piece of code lying in the where? ACS, but runs in a ARS. Okay, now this code can be Python code, can be PowerShell code. So if it is a Python code, so if it is a Python code, it will run because Linux is already having Python. If it is a PowerShell code, then Windows has already PowerShell, which if you remember correctly, I told you very clearly. See here, Linux has a, Windows has a, correct now? Do you understand that? Guys, are you there?
Yes.
So what is the module? So this here, this command is aka module. See here, something like this. Conceptually, this command is like a module. So here, what is this? This module is a piece of code which can run in ARS with a few parameters. So parameter 1, parameter 2, parameter 1, 2, parameter 1. So here, now this module is a piece of code which runs in ARS with a few parameters. It can be Python code, it can be PowerShell code, and do one thing, guys. One thing. Do only one thing. That means, see here, CP is doing one thing. MKDIR doing one thing. Systemctl is doing one thing. One special thing it do. So do one thing in ACS. ARS. Module code is lying in the ACS. Module code is exist in ACS when you get when you install Ansible. You can write your own module code also because this is a Python script. This is a Python script. Now the question is, how many modules are there? How many modules are there? How many modules are available by Ansible? So basically, guys, more than 3,000. Yes, 3,000. More than that, you can write your own modules also. So if I go here, Ansible type modules, and here you see this module index is there. See, these are the categories, guys. These are the categories. Okay, this is the official documentation. If you go here, just a second, Ansible --version. If you go here, cd, and go to the modules directory, this is, you see, these are the categories. Now here, which category? Let's say go to the files. Both I'm showing you, the command line option and GUI option also. Here you have a files. Where is that files? Here it is. And see here in the file, there's so many modules. This is the one file. See, copy. There's the one Python program. Here it is. Okay, so like this, here you have so many modules. So this, did you understand what exactly the modules are? Did you understand this?
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, you can look for the GUI command line, but this will help you to better way. This is the one. So guys, this is the modules. Again, few parameters. This you have to understand very, very well. Now let's deep dive into that. One of the modules you have to understand, okay? Because if you don't understand the modules, see here, you will not be able to do anything. Remember, if you don't learn the command, you will not be able to do anything. Linux, same thing, same way. If you do not learn modules, you will not be able to do anything in Ansible. But the question, you should not get scared with the 3000 numbers, because these 3000 numbers you are not going to address in one day. Depends on, see here, my project is required only 3 modules, by the way. 1 module, 2 module, 3 module, that's all. So I don't have to learn 3000 modules. I need to learn only 3 modules. But the pattern is you need to learn. So let's understand that one of the pattern. Let's say file modules. If I go, one of the modules, I'll open up copy module. Okay, so here copy module, what it can do? So copy module, copy the files to the remote location. Yes, I will read its synopsis properly. Now I will see this parameter 1, 2, 3, 100, all this thing. You see all these parameters are there in this table only. If you read it very carefully, parameter type is there. It's a string. It's a boolean. It's a string. It should be, it is a path sort of it, path, system path. It can be raw. Okay, it can be boolean. It can be integer also. Okay, so these are the type of the parameter which you should pass. But some parameter, there is a default value set by the Ansible alone. That means if you use this parameter, this copy module, then there is a one default value has been set for this parameter. Backup, no. So if you know means automatically it will be done. Yes, you have to revert back. You have to specify backup is equal to yes, something like that. See here, here it says added in 2.5. That means Ansible version 2.9 right now. So 2.5, this functionality, this parameter got added in 2.5. That means it will work only in 2.5 onwards. Okay, some parameter is required. Let's say I'll put it in simple way. If you copy the files without a source and destination, will it get copied? Let's copy the source, destination you don't keep it. So will it get copied? What do you think? So actually this is required, this is required. So this is called required parameter. So it's in red, you see, red. Some parameter will be having aliases. Aliases means either you write use this one, or you can write a thirsty also. Both is having same meaning for that particular. So this table is common for across all the 3000 modules which I talked about it. And you need to become comfortable actually. Okay, don't try to learn all the modules which is exist, because that will never get completed in your lifespan. Okay, because scenarios changes. So what you can do, focus on the requirement, convert into the pseudo code, then find a module for each step. So here I have learned that I'm not going to learn 3000 modules, but I am going to only accomplish the find out the module which can accomplish my task. So let me find out the module for it. So here Ansible module for what? So installing package, install. Package. My search got changed actually. Ansible module for install package. And see, I got a yum module. Wonderful. So here yum module is there. I want to module for copying file. I got a copy module. It's here. I want to start a service for service. And I got a service module, which is here. So guys, all this module, I got it. 1, 2, 3. So requirement is done, guys. My requirement is done. I don't have to get headache of modules. Just bother about your work. And pattern, learn the pattern. That's important. Done. So guys, I got everything. I got my project, I got my pseudocode, I got my modules which I want to run. Okay, and everything I got it. Now only thing which is pending is I have to write the command which is called ad hoc command. Okay, ad hoc commands, and that's all. So after this, there's no much of the stuff which is you will get stressed, because just command you run and things will be getting done. So guys, did you understand this whole stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so now just to write a command, you do that thing in one machine, remote machine, and so on. That's all. So any questions we have? Any doubts? No. Okay guys, so we'll have a lunch break now, and today we'll extend a little bit of time. Okay, and let's try to join early, little bit, 10-15 minutes early, so that way we can speed up. So today we extend a little bit of time in the evening if you are not having any meetings or so now let's go for the break. It's 1:33 from in my watch, so we will meet up after 45 minutes or 50 minutes. Okay guys.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay, yeah, see you. Bye everyone.
If you liked our Ansible session so far, please enroll for our channel membership $399 plan to get access of all the parts. Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.